4th, 1961 in Charlotte, North Carolina, an American gospel music singer, songwriter, producer, and artist. He studied at the Cincinnati Conservatory of Music, where he earned a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. While in Cincinnati, Ohio, he was also minister of music at the Southern Baptist Church of Reading Road. The multiple Grammy and Stellar Award winner has collaborated with a diverse roster, such groups as In Vogue, Stephanie Mills, The Clark Sisters, Kirk Franklin, Peebo Bryson, Karen Clark Sheard, Donnie McClurkin, and Mary J. Blige. One of the most popular choirs in the 1990s, Donald Lawrence and the Tri-City Singers also managed to make waves with the secular media, similar to a handful of other Christian acts during the decade. Comprised of Lawrence plus 34 members from the Tri-Cities of Spartanburg, South Carolina, plus Gastonia and Charlotte, North Carolina. The choir debuted in 1993 with the album A Songwriter's Point of View. The album eventually reached number 2 on the gospel charts. At the end of the year, the Tri-City Singers had become one of Billboard's top 10 gospel groups, as well as the recipient of several stellar awards and nominations for the NAACP's Image Awards. Their second album, Bible Stories, in 1995. Then they released a holiday collection called Hello Christmas in 1997. Lawrence and the Tri-City Singers signed to EMI Gospel in 2000, releasing Get Your Life Back, followed by Restoring the Years. A greatest hits album with 2 new tracks appeared in 2003. The next year saw the release of I Speak Life. The Tri-City Singers announced the group was calling it quits in spring of 2006 and recorded their last concert LP, entitled Finale Act 1 and Finale Act 2. Donald Lawrence's solo album, The Law of Confession, Part 1, arrived in 2009, with the second part rumored on the horizon. Oprah Winfrey announced that Oprah Winfrey is selling majority interests of her network OWN to Discovery Communications for $70 million. OWN had been a 50-50 joint venture between Winfrey and Discovery until the deal, which was announced last Monday. The cable giant is acquiring an additional 24.5%. Winfrey will continue to serve as Chief Executive Officer of OWN, which launched in 2011 through 2025. This is the first time Oprah has sold stock in OWN since its founding. Well, that's your gospel news for this week. I'm Nina Taylor. Let's get back to more great gospel music on this great station.
Where would I be without you? How can I live? grandmother taught me a long time ago. One day I was sick and I wasn't feeling too good. But she said, son, come on down to the room. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Jesus, he is my doctor. And he write up all of my prescription. And he gave me all of my medicine. Come on, it's in the room. Yeah. Listen here, y'all. I don't know if you ever been in the room before. But whatever you need is in the room. It's in the room. All you got to do is come on down. Come on in the room. Jesus, Jesus is my doctor. He gave me all of my medicine. Come on in the bed. Oh Lord. Listen here, y'all. Come on in the room. Jesus, 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 Jesus is. And he gave me. Come on, listen. Stay right there. Stay right there. Prayer was. I found my joy. Found my peace. I sit down in the room. I sit down in the room. I sit down in the room. Got down on my knees. Look up towards heaven and call on Jesus. Jesus, stop by. Jesus, stop by. Jesus, stop by and heal my body. Anybody been sick? Anybody been sick? And you couldn't get well? You went to the doctor. You couldn't get well, but Jesus, stop by. Jesus, stop by. Now all is well. Have you been in the room? Whatever's going on, you got to get there. You got to get there. My granny told me, you gotta come on down. You gotta come on down if you need your healing. You gotta come on down if you need your healing. There's healing in the room. Come on, baby. There's deliverance in the room. There's joy in the room. There's peace in the room. There's peace in the room. Won't God heal you? Won't God heal you? Won't God heal you? If you come on in the room, you just come on in. You just come on in. You got to come on in the room. You got to come on in the room. Listen here, y'all. Just keep on the Lord. Just keep on. Heal. The Lord has His word. Just keep on praying. Healing. You gotta keep on praying. The Lord. Heal him. Your cry. The Lord has promised me a long time ago. If I keep on praying, got to keep on praying. I got to keep on praying. Just keep on
All right, y'all. That was Jarrell Smalls right there with Prayer Room. Just come on in the room. Come on in the room. You just keep on praying. He hasn't forgotten about his promises to you. All right, y'all. I was trying to get my son to talk on the air, but he just flew up out of here, y'all. That's why I was laughing. It's so funny, though. He's a good kid, though. But yes, Prayer Room, y'all. And speaking of the Prayer Room, it brings me back to my relationship 411. Listen, relationship 411, you know, we look at our relationship with everybody else, But our main relationship needs to be with God. That's where our main relationship needs to be with God. So that's why I decided tonight to do the relationship 411. Why aren't things working for me? Why aren't things working for me, God? I'm doing all I can. I'm praying every night. I'm fasting like I'm supposed to. Ain't no things coming by fasting. I'm reading my Bible. I'm helping people. I'm being good to them. Why, God, aren't any good things coming to me? So, y'all, if you feel like that tonight and this morning, and you have questions, and you got a little anger and bitterness in you, and resentment in you for not having this and not having that, then I want you to listen to what I'm telling you tonight. Well, this morning, y'all know I'm just going to say it however. I was in a position this year where I felt like that. And when you feel like that, I can tell you that your heart feels so heavy. You love God, but yet, you just don't feel like things are coming on time, and you just don't feel like you're going to be able to make it. And when you get to that point where you go on your knees and you just start bawling out, crying, and you're like, Lord, 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 if you don't come help me, I'm going to die like this. It gets to that point. I got to that point this year where I was like that. And when I began to pray and the Lord began to open my eyes, and I saw something that I had never seen it that way before. That it wasn't the Lord that was doing the stuff to me. It wasn't even people that was doing it to me. It was me, myself. So that's why I'm telling you, you got to have a relationship with God, because you do have a battle. And listen, y'all, that battle is every day. It's not just one day. It's not just at one time of the year. It doesn't have no certain time when it comes to hit you. You can be doing good. You can be doing bad. And yet these little fiery darts just always hit you. So the one thing I realized was that you can't let people draw a wedge between you and God. What you know about God, you cannot let people draw a wedge between that. I don't care if it's a pastor, if it's your mother, your father, your family, friends, counselors, anybody. You cannot let people draw a wedge between you and God. That's why when I teach, I don't care what I'm teaching. I don't care if it's business, music, or whatever. I'm always going to draw you back to God, because in the end, your relationship with God is what matters. It don't matter how many people are around you, but if you are tore up on the inside, you will still feel lonely. You'll still feel empty. You'll still never see the good in what God is doing in your life. So I want to just leave you with these words right here. What you need to do is stop letting everybody in your ear. I was taking on so many opinions of people. I was listening to so many pastors saying, do this, do that. And, when you got everybody coming at you left or right, and you're trying to figure out which direction your life is going in, and, you're hungry, or either you're just swamped with